All right, check it out. This is beyond parody. Just when I thought we couldn't top Donald Trump declaring a trade war on the entire globe, we now have his biggest supporters declaring war on Superman for some reason. They are now calling Superman woke on Fox News because the writer-director simply said that Superman leads with kindness, leads with empathy, and he also happens to be an immigrant. Right when Trump supporters heard the word immigrant, their brains shut down and they thought, oh, that means he's from Mexico? He's brown? Oh, are you saying that he is a criminal? This is the problem. Trump and his team have created this strategy over the past decade where every single time they talk about immigrants, whether it's legal or illegal immigrants, whether it's a mother who just wants to get by, or whether it's a gang member, Trump always tries to associate immigration with criminals or with rapists. That's what he does every single time, when in reality, James Gunn just meant that Superman is from Krypton. Superman is from a different planet and he moved to Earth. And I know it seems dumb that I'm making a video about the new Superman movie, but I think it's worth taking a shot at punching back at the MAGA culture war that they've been waging for over a decade. Because when they're able to inject their politics into our feeds, into our movies, and say that Superman is woke, I think we should push back and just clarify having basic human kindness is not woke. That's something that Trump supporters have clearly lost because they take this top-down personality transplant from Donald Trump and take all of his meanest qualities. So let's dive into this. Make sure you drop a like below. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. Let's start here. End Wokeness on Twitter said, Hollywood literally never learns. James Gunn, the title says Superman is an immigrant story about basic human kindness. Yeah, you dumbass, he immigrated from Krypton, not from Mexico or Venezuela, you racist dumbass. This person literally read the word immigrant and his brain just shut down. And when James Gunn was faced with backlash from people calling the movie woke, James Gunn himself said he doesn't want to divide anyone. It's not even about pure, strict left versus right politics. It's about morality, the choices people make, and how moral codes can affect people. I mean, Superman has a strict moral code. If you've watched the Batman movies, Batman, for example, has a strict moral code, which is rather political. That's what James Gunn is saying. But Trump supporters always are thirsty to wage this cultural war. Someone said, there is only one Superman, Henry Cavill. This movie doesn't interest me at all, and I won't watch it. Too bad the director already wrecked it. Can't watch a movie without some dumbass message. They literally think that Superman is going to be coming from like Mexico in this movie and immigrating to the US. What kind of insane brains do these people have? Wouldn't even pirate this. Look at this Trump profile picture. This looks like the worst Superman movie yet. Why is DC so boring? Someone said woke is broke. Here's the thing. I bet this movie is going to rake in cash. I'm excited for it, not even because of political messages, but it looks like it's well made. Everyone's saying, nope, get politics out of movies. I mean, I just have to point out that a war on art, the war on art that Trump is currently waging by taking over key institutions, has happened before. Trump's takeover of arts is straight out of the dictator playbook. In 1937, leaders of Germany's Third Reich hosted two simultaneous art exhibitions in Munich. One, titled The Great German Art Exhibition, featured art viewed by the regime as appropriate and aspirational for the ideal Aryan society. They took over art institutions, used it to consolidate power, and read this. Earlier this month, Donald Trump took the unprecedented step of naming himself as the chair of the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts, saying no more drag shows or other anti-American propaganda, admitting he is doing a political takeover of our art institutions. They've tried to push movies like Sound of Freedom, other right-wing movies, and say they don't want politics in our movies. It reminds me of when they said, shut up and dribble, because I believe LeBron James was saying political statements, but then when MAGA, either basketball or football players, want to flash a red cap, they're completely happy with that.
And I went to the Yankees at Mets game yesterday at Citi Field, go Yanks, and you should see the people sitting for the national anthem for God Bless America. It's really just, I can't believe that we've come down to that. And I don't know. We don't go to the movie theater to be lectured to and to have somebody throw their ideology onto us. I wonder if it'll be successful.
You know what it says on his cape? MS-13.
Wow.
Is it superimposed or it actually says that?
It is super.
Just on the knuckles.
Superimposed.
One more thing.
It doesn't actually say that, number one. Number two, Jessica Tarlov had a really good joke. She's talking about Trump believing the superimposed MS-13 on Abrego Garcia's knuckles, even though they were fake. That tattoo didn't exist. So Jessica Tarlov had a really good joke right there. But they're look at what the Chiron says. Super woke. And it's just the Superman movie. She said, I wonder if it's going to do well. I really do think it'll do well in the theaters. If it doesn't do well, it's not because of wokeness. But also, this says iconic hero movie to embrace pro-immigrant themes. The movie isn't even political. James Gunn himself says the movie isn't about like left or right politics. It's political in the sense that it leads with human empathy, and it's about someone coming from Krypton being welcomed in another planet. Take a listen here.
You said it's an immigrant story. It's a political movie. MAGA today is going nuts. What do you have to say to MAGA?
I don't have anything. I think this movie's for everybody. I don't have anything to say to anybody. Like I'm not here to judge people, you know.
This is actually, I think, objectively the right answer to give. Not only as a director who's trying to push a product, but say you do have a movie that is pushing basic human kindness. Do you really want to tell one half of the country they shouldn't see that movie? Because, you know, media has effects on people. Art could teach people empathy. You want people to see this. You don't want to be like, hey, I only want half the country to see this and learn the lessons of this movie.
Political movie. MAGA today is going nuts. What do you have to say to MAGA?
I don't have anything. I think this movie's for everybody. I don't have anything to say to anybody. Like I'm not here to judge people, you know. I think this is a movie about kindness, and I think that's something everyone can relate to.
Kindness and human empathy. He said that multiple times in multiple interviews, yet that hasn't stopped the absolute culture wars that follow. I saw a Breitbart article earlier that was saying James Gunn wants to make a movie about the worst of the worst in our society, the criminal immigrants. And it's like, Jesus, listen, he's coming from Krypton. And also, just to go back to the beginning of this video, I want to point out that the culture war that Republicans wage, it's so insidious that Donald Trump has been able to make half the country, or let's say a third of the country, associate the word immigrant with somebody who is bad or undesirable, if you want to call it that. That's what they'd say. Let me just point out, James Gunn has said multiple times, Superman's creators themselves were the children of Jewish immigrants, and that character has always been a metaphor for the immigrant experience, like someone who leaves their home for a better life and tries to fit in while holding on to the core values of who they are. That is what Superman is about. No matter what iteration it is, even the Henry Cavill movie, the same thing. It starts off where he's on Krypton, his parents put him into the thing, launch him off, and then he has to assimilate into the United States. That's what the entire movie is about, is his struggle to assimilate. As a kid, he accidentally lasers a door at his school because he's trying to hold on to his core principles. So, you know, when faced with backlash, people calling this movie woke, Gunn said, no, it's about basic human kindness. You should see it and you'll see for yourself. I actually agree with that. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.